My parking spot is right there. I can show you. It's hard to imagine that they could make it worse, but they have. And everybody that parks around us has said this year's worse than it's ever been. I really hope they change it or do something, because this is terrible.
We waited a little while to get out, and we thought it'd be moving a little bit faster at this point, but yeah, we're just out going with the flow at this point. So hopefully if we move within an hour, that'll be great.
Parking lots even opened early, at 6:30 a.m., but many drivers sat in long delays getting to the stadium. One newspaper reporter tweeted, saying, "I have covered Penn State football for 40-plus years, and this is by far the worst pre-game traffic, thanks to the university's new plan, I have ever been subjected to." After the game ended, there were again long delays, as much as 2+ hours to leave. As you can see behind me, traffic has been moving slowly or not at all. Ever since the game ended, fans have been trying to get out. Angry fans sat in cars inching forward or in park. Someone yelled to our camera crew to tell nearby police officers to move cones blocking the other direction out.
Tell them to move the cones! Tell them to fix this problem!
One fan who got out of his car said officers threatened to arrest him when he asked for traffic cones to be removed. Penn State implemented new parking changes this season, including one-way traffic patterns before and after games.
From a traffic and transport component, it's really a safety and security element of it. Because of how much crossover traffic you have, you end up with situations with pedestrians and vehicles mixing on a regular basis. And so it starts from that standpoint, and then it just grows into also a fan experience component. How do we improve the fan experience? How do we make it easier to get in and out of?
But the biggest test of the system to date, an early kickoff, left many fans demanding changes. In University Park, I'm Caitlin Aguiles for the Center County Report.
We asked the university if it plans any changes for upcoming games. A spokesperson referred us to the Penn State Athletics, which has not yet responded to our request.
In Bellefonte last night, a proposal to outfit police officers with body cameras was a key topic. The police chief and county district attorney talked about their support for the idea at the borough meeting. The DA said the cameras are needed to ensure the public trust and safety of police officers.
There's still no ruling yet from the Pennsylvania Supreme Court on whether to outlaw the death penalty in our state. The court heard arguments on the issue last week. Critics believe the way the death penalty is applied to poor and Black defendants is cruel and arbitrary. Pennsylvania's death row is located at Rockview State Prison in Bellefonte. More than half of the state's 441 death sentences since the 1970s have been reversed, and the last person to be executed was in 1999.
Two well-known social justice figures made a stop in Central PA and spoke to a large crowd. I was there as two members of the Central Park Five talked about the criminal case that made national headlines. Since being wrongfully convicted, 5 men are sharing their story and message, including at Penn State. The 5 men were wrongfully convicted and incarcerated following a rape in Central Park. They have been exonerated and received a $41 million settlement from the New York City Law Department. On Thursday, 2 of the exonerated 5 visited Penn State's Alumni Hall following a movie screening of a series about their case titled When They See Us that happened Tuesday. Alumni Hall quickly filled with students, staff, and visitors waiting to hear Yusuf Salam and Raymond Santana Jr. speak.
I don't think we can fit very many more people in here.
Hosted by the Paul Robeson Cultural Center, Salam touched on how he dealt with being convicted of a crime he didn't commit.
We say, you know what, I'm no longer going to allow the system to keep its foot on deck and to dictate to us how we're going to live our lives.
Santana Jr. shared how going to prison as a teenager affected his family, specifically his father.
You know, you are provider, protector. And it's at that ultimate moment where you're supposed to come through and save your child. That's what being a parent is. And he felt like for him, he didn't do that.
After their discussion, crowd members got the opportunity to ask questions, and many rushed to the stage at the end to snap pictures. In University Park, I'm Erin Kemp for the Center County Report. The discussion was mediated by journalist and political analyst Bakari Kitwana.
The State College Area School Board is sticking by its decision to keep Papa John's Pizza out of the district schools. Controversial racial comments by founder John Schnatter last year prompted the school board to cancel its contract with the company. Domino's replaced Papa John's as the district's pizza vendor. At a recent board meeting, the school board said there's still concern about the comments, but students' and parents' opinions are mixed. One student we talked with says that some people would like Papa John's Pizza back.
Well, I usually pack, so I'm pretty neutral about it, but I've heard from a bunch of my friends that it would be nice if Papa John's made a comeback at the school.
The board said it will monitor the situation in case Papa John's launches another bid for next school year.
The Nittany Malin State College is adding a new store to the old space that used to be home to Sears. Rural King is a farm and home department store chain that first started in Illinois. The company has signed a lease for the old Sears space and hopes to open next spring. The store sells home and farm goods, clothing, toys, and even livestock feed. It has stores in 13 states.
Penn State is moving up the ranks of the nation's best universities. In the new 2020 rankings from U.S. News and World Report, Penn State moved up 2 spots to number 18 for the top public schools and 57th overall best university in the country. The ratings are based on criteria including graduation rates, cost, student-to-faculty ratio, expert opinions, and more. And Penn State's Palmer Museum of Art has received almost 200 works of art from Barbara Palmer's estate. She passed away last January. The collection includes works by Georgia O'Keeffe, Winslow Homer, and Mary Cassatt. Palmer and her husband, James, who died in 2001, began acquiring works from primarily galleries in New York and donating them to the museum before it was named in their honor in 1993. In 2021, the museum will have an exhibition celebrating the Palmers.
Will this nice fall weather continue all week? Casey is here with a 7-day forecast coming up.
We'll also take a look back at a classic football rivalry game from over the weekend. Also coming up, harvest time in the Valley. We'll have a visit to the farm run by students as they hold their popular annual event.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
You're doing great. We're gonna try this again, okay?
Okay.
Wheels, pedals, handlebar, brakes. Sit up straight, keep your weight in the center, keep your eyes on the road, hands on the grips, butt in the seat. If we feel ourselves falling, what do?
Just keep pedaling.
Good girl. Now remember, it's all about balance and steering. Steer with your hands, steer with your body. Steer into the corners and you stay out of trouble. And the bell's your buddy, so go ahead and ding that. All right, ready? Here we go. Pedal, honey, pedal. There you go, you're a bike rider.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
Hispanic Heritage Month is underway, and each year members of the State College community, student, and Greek organizations honor Hispanic culture. Courtney Allen reports.
We have so many opportunities for the community to come and participate, see what the culture of being Hispanic in the United States is, and what we bring to every community.
The event held on Sunday was specifically for kids. There were stations for arts and crafts that highlighted countries like Colombia and Puerto Rico, as well as stations with traditional snacks. The most popular station, however, was, of course, face painting.
Kids are definitely the future. So having them start now and getting them involved and seeing new cultures now is extremely critical. Because, if it's not now, then when?
Casals is treasurer of Lambda Sigma Upsilon Fraternity Incorporated, a historically Latino-oriented organization. He and other volunteers connected with kids as they learned how each country's culture is different and how they are similar.
The importance of having our identity as Latinos to be out there and open to the public, just like any other representation. Like you have restaurants coming in like Lupitas, you have even Penn State opening a Latino studies department less than 2 years ago. So there's change there, and to have these things make, especially at a younger age, they'll get adjusted and acclimated to that.
In addition to interactive learning, kids enjoyed games, music, and connected with other children throughout the day.
Great tasting food. There's a lot of kids games. There's so many commonalities with their childhood and what's there to be afraid of.
All right, we're all done. Wow, face is hard.
In 1989, Hispanic Heritage Month was extended from just a week to a month. Reporting from downtown State College, Courtney Allen, Center County Report.
Penn State organizations like Latino Caucus, Caliente, and others put on events throughout the year for the public to enhance cultural awareness.
Did you know in State College there's a farm run entirely by students? The Penn State Student Farm held its annual Harvest Festival with some new additions to this year's event. Will Desatal was there.
At the Penn State Student Farm, visitors gathered for the 4th annual Harvest Festival, where they enjoyed fresh local food, live music, and tours of the farm with planting activities and face painting for children and families. Campus catering also provided food for purchase, with dishes also prepared by chefs from Housing and Food Services and chefs in training from the Pennsylvania College of Technology.
They have a lot of variety, lots of things for different age groups, stuff like that. The food's pretty good as well. I think it's a really nice time to just come see what they have going on out here and just have a nice time.
In year 4 of the event, some new additions included a food truck and free buses to ride to the farm from Penn State's campus and back after the event ended. Despite some rain, this year's event attracted a great crowd.
You can see in the crowd size of just the amount of community members we've been able to broadcast the event to and how well we've been able to advertise it. I mean, today was a pretty significant, good event.
The farm was established 3 years ago with a mission to educate people about sustainable food systems and increase access to local produce. Unsold produce is donated to the Lion Pantry and other organizations. The farm will add new features later in the year. The Penn State Student Farm, which was established back in 2016, right now is just a single acre of land, but later in this year it's going to expand to about 3 times its size, and some new additions will include an outdoor kitchen area as well as a brand new pavilion. The farm hopes to add a greenhouse and some high tunnel space for new crops in the future. In State College, I'm Will Desatel for the Center County Report.
The farm sells about 25,000 pounds of produce every growing season, and that number is likely to grow with the farm's new expansion plan.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks again for joining us. I'm student meteorologist Casey Rigner. It is gorgeous outside Beaver Stadium right now. And what I love about this photo is, let me step over here. You can actually see the tips of these leaves starting to change colors, signifying the beginning of fall. We just have a few days left of summer here, 68 degrees right now with the north-northeast wind at 8. And really, we don't have much to talk about satellite-wise. So nothing going on in our neck of the woods, but that's kind of a different story for the rest of the country right now. We have a low-pressure system just off the western coast of Canada with the front bringing in some rain since this morning for Washington as well as Oregon. Another system for the northern Rockies, some thunderstorms and showers for northern Minnesota. And this right here is a disturbance right now that has about a 50% chance of strengthening into a tropical cyclone over the next 48 hours. This is Hurricane Humberto right now, Category 2 storm, sustained winds at 100 miles per hour, moving east-northeast at 8 miles per hour. This is by no means going to be a threat for us here along the East Coast in Pennsylvania. Temperatures right now, upper 60s, starting to get into those mid-70s, 74 for Harrisburg, 72 Allentown, and 76 over in Philadelphia. Now, my job is kind of easy this week. We have high pressure just north of our region that's going to kind of stick around over the next several days. So this is tomorrow evening. Still nothing to talk about. Very limited cloud cover as well as rain chances, possibly a few passing clouds by Thursday. Otherwise, we're going to be dry basically throughout the rest of the week this week. So today, 71 degrees as our high, lots of sunshine with that northeast wind at 5. And that's why we're going to be very cool tonight. We have calm winds. And when we don't have the clouds, it can get pretty chilly overnight. 50 degrees as our low. And then we're kind of going to repeat the same day tomorrow. High of 70, Plenty of sunshine. The east wind is at 3 to 5. So let's look at the next 7 days. I mentioned it's going to be dry. I have no rain in the forecast until next Monday. And the reason being, we have high pressure over the area that is going to shift to the south of us. And what that does is it's going to bring us those southerly winds. So it's going to warm up by the end of this week. It's going to be a beautiful weekend to get outside. You can put away the rain gear and then don't have to worry about rain possibly until Monday.
That's what I like to hear. No rain.
Happy you don't got to pull out the umbrella.
That's for sure. But it's such a shame that our Nittany Lions are on a bye week because this would be perfect tailgating weather. Speaking of our Nittany Lions, here's Maria Coyne with sports.
Penn State played its 100th rivalry game against Pitt over the weekend. We'll take a look at how the game unfolded. Also, Penn State women's volleyball battled number 1 ranked Stanford. We'll have that and much more next in sports.
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd.
No one has spoken.
Come on, man.
Hi, I'm Peter. There's nothing I love more than sharing vegetables with my friends. Come on in. Help yourself to anything. That's why we give our food the utmost respect it deserves. Did you know there are simple steps we can all take to help save food? You can cook it, store it, even share it. Just don't waste it. Because when it comes to food, better ate than never. To learn more, visit SaveTheFood.com.
This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Remember that to love America is to love all Americans. Because love has no labels.
So I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, excuse me, sit up straight, hold doors open for ladies. If the door's locked, knock first, don't burp, don't swear, don't stare, don't use bad language, or talk with your mouth, keep your elbows off the table.
What table?
Don't interrupt. Cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze. On the bus, keep your seat up to anybody who has trouble standing. Bottom line, treat others the way you want to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
Good talk.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
I'm Maria Coyne with sports. Penn State football enters its first bye week still unbeaten, but win number 3 didn't come easy over in-state rival Pitt. Carolyn Sistran reports.
The Nittany Lions are Keystone Classic champions. Penn State beat Pitt 17-10 on Saturday, and fans witnessed what is, for now, the final meeting between the two programs. The Nittany Lions got on the board just under 5 minutes into the first quarter on a 1-yard run from Devin Ford. The Panthers would respond with a 25-yard field goal 2 minutes into the second, followed by a 3-yard run from B. Davis 4 minutes later to get their only lead of the game. Journey Brown also had a record-setting day. The running back had the second longest non-scoring run in Penn State history on an 85-yard run, also snatching his first career 100-yard game. In the third quarter, Noah Cain's 13-yard run put the Nittany Lions back in the lead, where they would stay for the remainder of the game. Penn State walked away with the 17-10 win.
I got a lot of respect for Coach Narduzzi as a defensive guy. They always play really tough. And then I do think he gets very involved with us in how to attack our defense from a defensive perspective.
Well, there are no guarantees that the Keystone Classic could return. Pitt and Penn State fans are pretty hopeful that their two teams will meet again on the field someday soon. Reporting from University Park, I'm Carolyn Sistran.
After the bye week, Penn State hits the road against Maryland for a Friday night game against the Terps. Now to high school football, the Bellefonte Red Raiders will take a 3-game winning streak into their next game against Tyrone. Reporter Talia Shirallo takes a look back at their big win over Central Mountain on Friday night.
The Bellefonte Red Raiders went head-to-head against the Central Mountain Wildcats at their home field on Friday night. It was America theme night, and the crowd wore red, white, and blue as the cheer team led USA chants.
here at Bellefonte, it's a tradition to get the students involved. And we really try to mold our cheerleaders into like, it's their job to come here to really like reach out to the community, do community events, have lots of spirit throughout the season at the games.
Everybody's here, and it's like one community coming together to see something that everybody, not only the band, but the football and the cheerleaders, is working so hard to put together.
On this chilly Friday night, it's the Bellefonte Red Raiders' 4th game of the season. At the half, they're 27-0 against the Central Mountain Wildcats. Senior running back CJ Funk tied Bellefonte's 39 career touchdown mark. His 181 rushing yards game put him at a total of 2,662 career rushing yards, breaking Nate Stone's record for most 100-yard rushing games with 13 games so far. Despite the cold, most of Raider Nation stayed to support their team. The Red Raiders added scores in the 3rd and 4th quarters and went on to beat Central Mountain 40-14. They're now 3-1 this season and 2-0 in conference. Their next game is Friday at 7 p.m. in Tyrone. In Bellefonte, I'm Talia Torello for the Center County Report.
State College High also won big on Friday against Carlisle. The Little Lions take on Chambersburg this week. The Penn State women's soccer team is looking to bounce back after 2 tough home losses this past week. The Lions fell to an unbeaten Oklahoma State in double overtime on Thursday, and the storyline was not much different on Sunday afternoon at Jeffrey Field. The Virginia Cavaliers dominated on the offensive front in the first half, totaling 9 shots to Penn State's 0, just under 20 minutes into the match. They held a 1-0 lead until the 85th minute when Penn State's Allie Schlegel scored on a free kick from Sam Coffey. That goal was Schlegel's 6th goal in 6 games. The celebration was short-lived as Virginia's Cindy Zandy scored 37 seconds after ultimately giving the Cavaliers a 2-1 lead and the win. Penn State will take on Michigan and Michigan State this weekend. Penn State women's volleyball had a roller coaster weekend, beating a top 10 team, but also losing to a longtime rival. Reporter Samantha Rank looks back at the big match against Stanford.
The Penn State women's volleyball team faced its toughest challenge to date, defending national champion and top-ranked Stanford. More than 5,000 fans jammed a rec hall for the Friday night match. The Nittany Lions took the first set 29-27. The Cardinal won set number 2. Fans decked out in all-white watched as 2 top-5 ranked teams battled.
They're looking pretty good. I mean, they're tied 1-1 against the number 1 team in the country, so I'd say they're looking okay.
From the looks of tonight's crowd, Penn Staters clearly came ready to roar for tonight's whiteout match against Stanford. Both teams are currently undefeated.
But Stanford went on a roll and never looked back, winning the match 3-1. The Lions rebounded by sweeping number 10 Oregon on Saturday. In University Park, I'm Samantha Rank for the Center County Report.
The Nittany Lions face Pitt this Friday night at Rec Hall. That's all for sports. Now back to you at the anchor desk.
Thanks, Maria. Coming up next, a legendary musician and his band are coming to Penn State. Find out when you can get the tickets. That's after the break.
We taught him how to hit a baseball, how to hit a receiver, the strike zone, the net. You taught him how to hit the upper corner. You even taught him how to hit the open man. But how much time have you spent teaching him what not to hit?
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
You have given everything to me. What can I do for you?
Although the times they are changing, the love for this music legend goes on and on. Bob Dylan and his band are coming to the Eisenhower Auditorium on Penn State's University Park campus on November 15th. Tickets go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. and prices range from $63.50 to $89.50. Penn State student tickets are also available at a $25 discount. Dylan's U.S. tour kicks off in October. He's making several stops in Pennsylvania, including Penn State, Pittsburgh, and Philadelphia.
That's all for today's newscast. You can find more of our stories on our website, centercountyreport.com.
And you can follow us anytime for breaking news on our Twitter feed. That's at Center County REP or on our Facebook page. We also have a Center County Report Instagram. Join us for our next newscast on Friday. Have a good day.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
My heart doesn't see race.
Love is love.
Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
Your daughter is having trouble learning French. Do you A, hire a tutor?
Bonjour.
B, enforce a French-only rule at home? Or C, watch some foreign films? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.